Morning all, hope you're well. If you're with me live, thank you for tuning in at this very moment. If you're tuning in at a later time, thank you also, and I hope you have a good practice. So this morning will be our foundation Hatha, but following on the last number of the Friday series you could almost call it, it'll be a gentler practice, a focus on the smaller moves that create a lot of freedom in the body. Freedom to help us to achieve the bigger moves in the practice, and even just in everyday life, helping us to move through everyday life with greater ease. For the practice, we'll be focusing, at the start of the practice rather, we'll be focusing on a resonance breath, that even inhale and exhale, in and out through the nose, working towards the count of 5 or perhaps 6, but no pressure or force, only work to the point that you can maintain that even inhale and exhale with ease. So if necessary, be with a shorter count. So you choose which is appropriate for you. To get started, you can remain in a seated position if that's comfortable, but perhaps I'll encourage you to come into a lying down position this morning. And there's many variations. Lying on your back, you could have the knees bent if that's most comfortable for the neck and it's most comfortable for the lower back, or you could have the legs straight as required. Your hands can be up on the sides of the body, the palms to face up, helping the shoulders roll out a little and to rest with greater ease, or you could have one hand on the belly and one hand on the ribs. So just take a few moments to readjust and choose a position which is best for you. If you are coming to a lying down position, just making sure that the body is held, that there's no areas of discomfort. If necessary, you could even prop a small pillow or the legs behind the head in the upper back region. And we'll just take a moment to arrive. Eyes closed and the mouth closed. As you work towards creating a little space for yourself and space for your practice. This space that you're endeavouring to create for yourself is not a space of resistance. You're not trying to push away, you're not trying to suppress any thoughts, but instead we'll just encourage a shift of our awareness and our focus. As you bring your attention to the physical body, you bring your awareness to the toes. And just inquire, how do the toes feel? Does the toes feel good? If there is any tension, any holding, anywhere in between, just notice. Make a similar inquiry up through the ankles and the calf muscle. Noticing how the knees feel. Your awareness moves up through the thighs, front and back, the buttock muscles, and the whole of the pelvic region. Note how the lower limbs feel, toes to hip. Allowing your awareness to sweep up the back of the body to the very lowest part of the spine. Moving through the lumbar spine up into the middle back, the upper back, stretching through the shoulder blades. Allow your awareness to sweep around the front of the body and to settle at the very centre of the belly. Any unnecessary holding or grip of tension at the belly, just notice, allow belly to be soft. Move up through the ribs, through the very centre of the chest, and expanding throughout the entire region of the chest. Notice the response. Your awareness extends to your shoulders and then descends down the arms, elbows, forearm, wrists, moving through the palms of the hands and the fingers. Allow your awareness to return to the collarbones and to move up through the neck. Allow it to spiral its way up around the neck. And notice how the neck feels, front, sides, back, until you arrive at the jaw, the chin, moving up through the nose, eyes, ears, forehead, crown of the head, the whole body. With this whole body awareness, if you're familiar where you habitually hold tension, or if you notice that there was any areas that there was a lot of holding, a lot of grip, return there for it and be there for a moment. And from this awareness of the physical body, we'll softly move into the headspace, with a mental inquiry of how am I feeling? Just notice the energy levels. Have you rested well? Are you feeling present? Are you feeling engaged? Are you feeling agitated? Frustrated? Just notice. And when you've truly checked in through the physical body and the mind, we'll bring the attention to the breath. And know that you're welcome to simply remain witnessing and experiencing the breath. But if all is well, we'll work through a few gentle rounds of the resonance breathing. Even inhale and exhale in and out through the nose, not fighting for depth. You can be with a shorter count if necessary. Choose which is appropriate for you. Breathing in, 2. Breathing out, 2. Breathing in, 2. Breathing out, 2. Breathing 3, 2, 3. Breathing out, 2, 3. Breathing in, 2, 3. Breathing out, 2, 3. Breathing in, 2, 3. Breathing out, 2, 3. Breathing 4, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release the effort upon the breath. Just allow the breath to find its own steady rhythm. And you can drop back into inquiring to the body's response, the response of the mind. Any shift, any change. After just over 3 minutes of conscious breathing, what's the response? you were with me at count of 5, breath will slow down to almost 6 breaths per minute. Being aware we often overbreathe at counts of 18, 24 plus breaths per minute. And from the awareness of the breath and the body's response, softly bring your feet back together. If comfortable, extending the right arm up overhead and behind. The right leg is straight, the left knee remains bent. Left hand on the belly. Once you feel steady, gently roll onto your right side. If the right side is uncomfortable, perhaps you explore your left, changing the arm you extend over and the knee you bend. Once you feel steady, no trace of dizziness, gently push up to any seated variation, eyes remaining closed. Namaskar and Mudra. If it's comfortable for you, palms are lightly pressed. As you take a moment to set intention, a sankalpa or dedication for your practice. Release your hands. Chin towards the chest, and a few gentle blinks, opening the eyes. Namaste. We'll softly extend the legs out in front, stretching the legs out in front. If required, if you find a seated position rather is challenging, hands behind as you need to, and you can lean back into the hands. But try not to collapse the spine, keep it a little lifted. If all is well, we'll sit nice and tall. If this is good here, we'll bring our awareness into our feet, and all as well as this gentle movement through the toes, initially. Then this is good, bringing the feet a little closer. You can bring the feet entirely together, or you can keep them a small bit apart. We're going to go for a full rotation with the inhale, full rotation for the exhale, going for 3 rounds, in whichever direction is calling you first. Think smaller, more controlled rotations. You're aware if there's any cracking or pops, that this can be normal, but if it's associated and accompanied with pain, make the rotation smaller, and this goes for all of the joints in the body. Changing direction, move with the breath, full rotation on the inhale, full rotation with the exhale. The intention is three rounds. Beautiful. Once you've completed, take the feet to be about hip distance apart, maybe just a little less. As you inhale, draw the toes back towards you, push the heels. As you exhale, point the feet. Inhale, push the heels. Exhale, point the feet. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, point the feet. If comfortable, maintain it there for a moment. Your next inhale, wag both your feet to your right. Exhale, wag left. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale smoothly back to center. Draw the toes back towards you. Push the heel. We'll endeavour to keep the heels pushing away, toes pointing towards the ceiling. Mindful that does not move from the hip. Often for our next movement, we'll drop the hip out, which the foot will turn out as a result. Heels push away, toes point up. You want to turn the feet out as best you can. Legs work a little straighter. And as you exhale, you try and turn the soles of the feet in towards each other. Inhale, feet out. Exhale, feet in. Inhale, feet out. Exhale, feet in. Inhale, feet out. Exhale, feet in. Back to center, toes free. Bending of both knees. If you have your hands behind you, you can maintain your hands still behind you. If it feels good, however, you can hook underneath the thighs, and you can opposite wrist form or elbow. Take the feet into a position where you can firmly ground the feet. The outer edge and the inner edge are equally grounded, likewise with the toes and the heels. Your beloved toe movements. Your awareness and your gaze comes all the way into your feet. If this is good here, just your right foot, your right big toe. Just raise the right big toe only. But can you keep the ball of the foot grounded? The second toe joins it. the third, the fourth, and the right little toe. Keep all of the right toes up now as your awareness comes into the left foot, and you raise left big toe only. You endeavour to do so. The second toe joins it, the third, the fourth, and the little toe. Beautiful. This is good here. Bring both big toes back to ground and bring both little toes back to ground. The three lads in between maintain lifting and stretching apart really well. If it's challenging with both feet, work with one foot at a time. Then ground all of your toes, push your toes into the ground. Super. Release the clasp if you're there and extend both legs, so turning straight. Working with just your right leg. If there's any discomfort in the lower back, perhaps your hands remain behind you. You can keep the foot grounded and you can slide it along the ground as you come in and out. If all is well, however, you can go for a slightly more challenging variation. Both hands underneath the right thigh. As you inhale, raise the entire leg. As you exhale, bend the knee. You can slide it in or keep it up off the mat as you draw your thigh even towards your chest, spine lifts. Inhale, extend it. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the thigh in towards the chest. And then ground the heel. Maintain the bend of the knee. The heel is grounded. If your hands are behind you, I'll encourage you to keep the heel grounded, simply just raising the front of the foot. And as you inhale, turning the foot out. And as you exhale, turning the foot in. Working with this variation. If it's relatively comfortable for you here, however, you can hook the right arm underneath the right leg. The palms come to clasp. Toes draw back towards you. As you inhale, turn your foot out. Then raise your legs up about 3/4 of the way to being straight. As you exhale, turn it in and releasing it down. Inhale, foot out and up. Exhale, in and down. Maintain it turned in as you inhale, elevate it up. As you exhale, out and down. Inhale, in and up. Exhale, out and down. Beautiful. Grounding the right foot. Release the clasp of the arm underneath if you're there. Extend the right leg straight. Your awareness into your left leg, choosing an appropriate variation. If it feels good, you're going to lift the entire leg. As you inhale, raise the leg. As you exhale, slide in or keep it up off the mat. Thigh to chest. Inhale, extend well. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, extend it. Exhale, bend. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Once you've drawn it in, ground the left foot now. You can keep the heel grounded, toes raised and turning it in and out, moving from the knee. Shin will move. If it feels good, however, I encourage you to keep hook the left arm underneath, palms to clasp. Toes draw back towards you and the foot turns out. As you inhale, if it's comfortable, you're elevating it. At the top, turn the foot in, exhale, releasing it down. Inhale, foot out, raising up. Exhale, in and down. Maintain it turned in as you inhale, re-elevate it up. Exhale, out and down. Inhale, in and up. Exhale, out and down. Beautiful. Rolling the left foot, release the arm from underneath. Bending the right knee. You can come front by sweeping your legs to the side. If it's all as well, however you're playing around and it's successful, cross the legs over. Hands front, waist tall on the knees. But don't fight. Come front whichever way is required for you. Take a moment to set up. You're thinking shoulder over the wrist with the fingers well spread. If that's a challenge, you can have your hands front as you need to. Or make fists. Take your knees underneath your hips initially, so you know your thighs are vertical. Then wider from that point. So the event intention is wrist to knee and shin, or toes even working in a straight line. Spread the fingers. Once you've got your good alignment, moving through the hip. Just begin to make circles, rotation in the hip, in whichever direction is calling you first. Start with smaller circles. Build towards bigger. Then changing direction. Being aware throughout the practice if it becomes challenging or any moment you feel fatigued, you can take rest. pushing back to the resting warrior, the child's pose, or makarasana at the crocodile pose, any variation. Coming to rest with your rotation, returning the shoulder over the wrist as best you can, fingers well spread. This is good. Round your entire spine and release your head. It's a little challenge to coordinate the movement, and it takes time rather to build. So being patient as the awareness comes in just to your lower back. We want to maintain the middle, the upper back round and the head release. As you inhale, slight arch to the lower back. As you exhale, the top of the pelvis under. Inhale, gentle arch. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, arch. Exhale, tuck, focus on the lower back. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Next inhale, come back to an easy spine. Allow your belly and your chest to drop a little also. If it's accessible for you, keep the hands where they are, bend at the knee. The intention is sitting all the way back in the heel, but you can be anywhere before it. Please don't fight your ankle, your knee or your hip. Each practice can be different. Beautiful. Next inhale, raising up. Returning to the Vajraswasa, the tiger breathing setup. We'll move through the whole of the spine. Move slow and steady. Move with your breath. As you inhale, arch your lower back where we just were. Middle back, upper back, draw the shoulders on the back so you slightly lift the chest and lift the head. As you exhale around the lower back, middle back, upper back, release the head and rounding the spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round, thinking head is last thing to release. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Be there for a moment if you can. Really push away the mat. Head is released. Shoulders still over wrist. Next inhale back to an easy spine. Hands remain where they are, pushing back. Take rest for a moment. Any degree push back is welcome. Notice the response. So it's 3 steady breaths. Beautiful. Next inhale, re-raising back up, shoulder over the wrist. Now if this is accessible for you, your knees and your feet together, then furthermore we'll take our hands wider. So your hands come wider than your shoulders come. If you have any challenges in the knee or the hip, please mindfully apply, or even through the lower back. As you exhale, push your hips to your right. But keep both palms firmly grounded and the right arm will work straight. Inhale back to center. Exhale to your left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Inhale. Exhale left. Inhale. Exhale right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And be there for a moment if you can. Can you keep the left knee grounded? Can the right arm work a little straighter? Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Maintain it there. Inhale back to center. Keeping the knees and the feet where they are. Bring your hands back into that shoulder distance apart. Then sitting back. The intention is sitting to Vajrasana, the thunderbolt pose, sitting on the heels. If this is challenging, you're welcome to be tall on your knees or any seated variation. So you can choose which is appropriate for you. All is well here. A bend in the right elbow. We're taking shoulder, elbow and wrist works in a straight line. Allow the palm to drop down and face front. The left hand grabs the right forefingers and draws the palm down a little further. Stretching the front of the wrist, stretching the fingers. Relax both shoulders. Release the forefingers. The right palm face in now, the thumb faces up. Draw the thumb back towards you without flexing at the wrist, without bending at the wrist any degree. Beautiful. Release the right thumb. Same with the left side. Bend the left elbow, the shoulder, the elbow and the wrist work in a straight line. Recognize if your arm habitually turns in or habitually turns out. Can you return more to a central lining? Drop the palm down, but still maintain that 90 degree. With the right hand, draw the left fingers down. As you draw the fingers down, recognize that you're not extending the left elbow straight. You're maintaining that 90 degree bend in the elbow and it's held close to the body. Release the four fingers, left palm to face in, the thumb is up, draw the thumb straight back. Super. Releasing the thumb, you can release your hands down for a moment, raise up on the knees. Knees come as wide as your hips. Extending the arms out in front, palms face down initially. As you inhale, palms to face front. As you exhale, palms to face down. Can you keep the fingers straight? Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale back to center, neutral, palms face down. Bring your knees back together. Can you tuck your toes and then coming back down to a seated position? If this is challenging, please choose the appropriate variation. Movement at the wrist. As you move through the wrist, try not to take the arms further apart or bend at the elbow. As you inhale, fingers nice and straight. The fingers go to the outer edges. As you exhale, fingers towards each other. Inhale, fingers out, now moving the rest of the arms. Exhale, fingers in. Inhale, fingers out. Exhale, fingers in. Smoothly back to center. Raise tall again once more on the knees. On top of the toes. Bending at the knees, back to Vajrasana. Flip the right palm to face the ceiling. Bring the elbow in close to the body and make a fist. Then the left hand will support the right forearm. That position of shoulder, elbow, wrist in a straight line. Keep the forearm facing up. So no movement through the forearm. It doesn't turn to any degree, even if it's only a small rotation through your wrist. Move with your breath. Inhale for a full rotation through the wrist. And exhale for a full rotation. 3 rotations. No movement whatsoever through the forearm, so it's not turning. The left hand helps to keep it steady. Once you've completed 3, opposite direction, full rotation with the inhale. Full rotation with the exhale. Super. Once you've completed your 3 in the opposite direction, return the left into that 90 degree bend. Wrist, elbow and shoulder in line. Palms up, you make a fist. The right hand supports the left forearm. Whichever direction is calling you first. Can you keep the forearm steady? Can you note the difference between both sides? Change direction. Beautiful. Once you've completed your 3, release the fingers. Palms rest on the thighs. Then raise up. Back on the knees, if comfortable. Maybe you're already there. Any sensitivity in the knees? Apologies, I didn't mention a brief moment ago. You can double over the mat to support the knees as you need to. Toes in line with the knees. Knees are as wide as your hips, if not wider. Spine is lifted. The hands will rest in front of the thighs and the elbows are hugged close to the body. As you inhale, bend at the elbow. At the top, once you've bent as much as you can, flip the palms to face you. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, bending at the elbow, flip the palm away. Exhale, down. Inhale, raise it. Exhale, flipping down. Inhale, raising up. Flip the palms to face out. This is good here. Smoothly extend your arms front. Then we'll drop the arms down. So it's almost a 45-degree angle pointing towards the ground. Moving through the shoulder. We'll think moving through the bicep. The hands will turn. We'll think moving from the upper arm. Extra challenge, arms going opposite direction. Allow your breath to flow. A slower, more controlled movement. Now if you have any challenge in the shoulders and this is going well, perhaps this is the point that you remain at. If it feels good, however, I'll encourage you to take the arms out to either side. You're still almost at that 45-degree angle pointing down. Arms going opposite direction. All is still responding well and progressing to the shoulder height. Recognize and have a look at your biceps. The biceps are turning. Beautiful. Back to center. Put the palms face down. Release your hands to your thighs. As you inhale, retract your shoulders back. Hands still on the sides. Elevate the shoulders up. As you exhale, front and down. Inhale, shoulders back and up. Exhale, front and down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, front and down. Pause there for a moment. Inhale, elevate up from that point. Exhale, retract back and down. Inhale, front and up. Exhale, back and down. Hands to the hips. If it feels good, take the hands behind. Opposite wrist, form or elbow. The knees and the feet come back together. And if it's part of your practice and accessible, back down into Vajrasana, the thunderbolt pose. Drop your chin lightly towards your chest. The intention is a full rotation through the neck, but like all of our joint movements thus far, no pressure. Don't move into pain, small as you need to. With the chin down, just allow the breath to flow. Glide the chin along the collarbone to your right. Then lift the chin. Drawing a circle on the ceiling without lifting the chest. It's just a head and neck movement. As you circle around to your left, drop the chin down past the collarbone. Continue to the right, so 2 rotations. Allow your breath to flow. Sensitive to the body's reaction. You're not moving quickly, you're not moving suddenly and jerking through points of pain or discomfort. Once you've arrived back at the base of the throat, return or reverse rather to your left now. You're allowing breath to flow the entire time. You're tuned into the body's reaction, particularly as you change directions. Once you return to the throat base, the chin rather than the base of the throat, lift your head so straight ahead. Set the chin a little back. Hands to hips, feels good, arms out to either side. A medium bend in the elbows, grab an imaginary glass or bottle of something, and endeavour to pour that out behind. Maintaining the pouring out motion, we're going to inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, straighten the arms. Recognize that you're not lifting your chest. Ribs are steady. Exhale, bending at the elbow. Inhale, straightening the arms. Exhale, bending the elbow to about a medium bend, about halfway. If this feels good here, please mindfully apply. Inhale, raise the arms up. You're keeping that medium bend in the elbow. Exhale, dropping it down. Inhale, still pouring out to try to lift the elbow front. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, releasing it down. Release the hands. Shoulders free. Taking a hand, placing it on the chest, if comfortable, skin on skin. So your palm is resting on the chest, palm connecting with the skin. The other hand rests on top. All is well here. Apply a light pressure to your chest. A light pressure engages the palm against the skin of the chest. Draw your chin back in a mild double chin. Then this is good. Lift your chin up. Keep the pressure on the chest. Lift the chin. And dropping it down. Can you keep the teeth together? Lift the chin. Dropping it down. Keep the pressure on the chest. Teeth together. Lift the chin. Come up to your comfortable edge. Then hang out there for a moment. No pressure on the back of the neck. Think more lifting of the chin rather than dropping the head back. Breathe. Very comfortable. Just playing around. Can you slide the bottom teeth beyond the top teeth? But don't fun. Beautiful. Slide your teeth back. Drop the chin slowly. Then release your hands. Show them through. Smoothly, with care. Come front. Hands in the knees. Your tiger breathing setup. Take a moment to set up. Shoulder over the wrist, fingers spread. The knees can come as wide as the wrist now. Toes in line with the knees. Moving through the hip. And then changing direction. And back to center. A few gentle rounds of your tiger breathing. As you inhale, arch the back. Lower, middle, upper, lifting of the head. Exhale, round, lower, middle, upper. Inhale, arch, slow and steady. Breathe as much as you need to. Build towards coordinating. Don't force the breath. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Release the head, be there for a moment. Push away the mat if you can, very lightly draw. Beautiful, inhale back to an easy spine. Knees come wide now, as wide as your mat, big toes together. If comfortable, sitting all the way back in the heel. Number of variations. First option, extend the arms far front and forehead to mat. If uncomfortable and inaccessible, stack the palms and forehead to stacked palms or stacked fists. Hips can be higher as you need to. Be here for a moment. Beautiful, inhale, lifting of the head. Extending the arms front if they were stacked. We'll maintain the head a little up. The distance between your hands and feet is correct for downward facing dog if you are choosing to come up, but mindfully apply, never fighting for depth. We'll raise the hip. Keep the distance between the hands and the feet, but take the feet shoulder distance, take the toes under, raise the knee, and smoothly push the hip up and back. And bend in the knee if you need to. If it feels good, working towards straighter leg. Be there for a moment, gaze straight down. The intention is the length from the wrist to the hip, and from the hip to the heel. Beautiful, still good. Smoothly as you inhale, bring the shoulder over the wrist into the plank pose. The plank pose can be achieved beautifully by grounding the knees. A little practice, you're up, heels lightly push away, sternum a little back. Gaze front, recognize where your shoulders are. Shoulders draw down the back. Breathe. Super. If you haven't already done so, ground your knees. Come down whichever way is necessary. If comfortable, squeeze elbows close. Rolling down through each vertebrae. Bringing the chin to the mat on top of the toes. Feet together, toes and heels to touch. Take your arms out to either side. A little work through the shoulder and the neck region, so please be careful, or please mindfully apply. Recognize the step that's appropriate for you. Have a little look to your left and your right. You want your elbows to be in line with the shoulder and 90-degree bend in the elbows, palms face down. Then turn your gaze to your right for a moment. You want to keep the 90-degree bend in the elbow, but just shift the elbow a little further north of the shoulder line, so it goes towards the front edge of your mat. Keeping the front of the shoulder grounding as best you can, or working that direction, but you're not pushing it to the ground. From here, turn your gaze to your left now. Take your left hand and place it in line with the chest. It doesn't have to be close to the chest, it's working on that lining. The palm is grounding, elbow up towards the ceiling. So already here, perhaps you can feel a stretch on the front of the chest and the front of the shoulder region, but no fight. If it's still relatively accessible, all is going well, there's no pressure on your neck, push your left hand into the ground and roll onto your right side. And you're stacking your left foot on top of your right. Your awareness again is with the front of the right shoulder, feeling that walk towards the ground. Beautiful stretch in front of the chest. Now you can be here. Feels good, however. You can raise the left leg up, you can bend the knee, and you can drop the foot behind and work towards grounding. If that variation is too challenging, but you'd still like to play around with it a little further, you can bring it front. Left knee towards the left wrist.
And be there and breathe. Note the variations we've taken, the steps we've taken. Breathe. Super. Now coming back with care, coming back step by step, no matter which variation you're in with the left leg, bringing the left back to stack on top of the right. Then more with care, rolling back on the belly, running the left elbow now at this 90 degrees, shoulder, elbow in line with the shoulder, then take the elbow a little north of the shoulder line, still 90-degree bend. Then turn your gaze to your right now, and you're going to take your right hand to be in line with the chest almost, but it can be a distance away from the body, palm is grounding. Feel the front of the left shoulder working towards the mat, and note the difference between both sides. So for instance for me, shoulder is a little further up on this side. If this is good, pushing the right hand into the mat, rolling to rest on the left side. You know, you can maintain here. If it feels good, you can bend the right knee and bring it towards the wrist, in front of the body, or you can drop the leg behind and the foot works to the ground. Or the foot can be floating up equally also. Recognize the reaction, front of left shoulder, the chest, no pressure on the neck. Breathe. And breathing long and soft, signaling to the nervous system it's okay to be here. There's no fight. Beautiful, smoothly bring it back. Right foot back on top of the left. Rolling back on the belly. Chin is grounded. Hands either side of the chest. Taking care. Bending at the knees. Knees and feet remain together. Sitting back on the heels. Heel of the palms come together. Cradle the face. You can cradle around the chin. If that's a challenge, perhaps you know the head drop down a little and you can cradle around the temples, or you could stack fists or stack palms. Steady breath. Beautiful. Lifting of the head. Extending the arms nice and far front. Knees come as wide as your mat and work towards. Extend your arms a little further perhaps. Once you have the knees gone wide, create space for the torso to move forward. Make our way to one more downward facing dog. If it feels good, maintain the distance between the hands and the feet. Raise the hip. Take the feet to be shoulder distance. Take the toes under and push the hip up and back. Not fighting to bring the heels to the ground. Often we'll bring the feet closer in an effort to ground the heel. This is not necessary. As best you can, maintain that good distance between the hands and the feet. Beautiful. A bending of the knees. Coming from whichever way is necessary for you. A little practice. Right knee, right wrist, shin diagonal. Left shin stacks on top. And sitting back. And then come all the way back. Be mindful if there's anything solid behind you. Rolling on your back. Once you've arrived on your back, rolling side to side with the thighs in close to the chest. We'll come to rest at the rolling. Keep bending the knees and welcome the soles of the feet to the mat. Safety Bandasana on the bridge pose set up. Hands on the sides of the body, heel into fingertips. Your knee stacked over the ankle. The knees are working in the direction of the toes. Recognize if your knees habitually dropping towards each other. Chin, mild double chin. Middle back, nice and grounded. This is good here. Pressurize your feet into the mat and smoothly raise up just through the lower back. So you'll feel, if you want to take one hand underneath, back of the hip and buttock muscles are grounded or raised even. But check in with your middle back. Middle back is still grounded. Maintaining this grounding, you want to push your hips side to side. So the lower back is just a little bit elevated. The middle back and the upper back comfortably grounded, and we're pushing hips side to side. Note the
the response. Pausing for a brief moment, maintaining just the lower back elevated. This is good here, it's a twisting through the hip. So one hip will raise higher up than the other, like almost like a seesaw motion. You can have your hands on the sides of the hips if this helps you. To recognize the movement. Move slow and steady. So you're working towards that intentional movement. More controlled, more refined movement, which creates a lot of freedom and which serves you in the bigger movements or just moving around in general. Allow the breath to flow. Beautiful, pausing here. All is well. It will be a hiking up motion, so your hip, you'll be shortening one side of your waist as best you can. One hip will be working towards the shoulder as the other one draws down towards the feet. Hands can be on the sides of the waist and the hip. Slower movement. The knees will also move a little bit away from each other, but this is not where the movement is originating from. Feel the movement through the hip. Beautiful, pausing here. This is good. Check in if the middle back is still grounded. Very comfortable. There will be a tilt and a tuck of the pelvis. Slight tilt and slight tuck. Think smaller, more controlled movement. How firm are your feet? What's the reaction in the neck? Your next tuck. Inhale, push the hip up. Release the hands down if they're on the hip. Lower, middle, upper back if it's part of your practice, but no pressure on the neck. Exhale, release down, upper, middle, lower. Inhale, smoothly push the hip. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, how firm are your feet, body wants slightly engaged. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, push the hip. Then be there for a moment. I know it's tempting to move the head, particularly to look at the screen, but as best you can, keep your gaze straight upward, trying to minimize the movement through the neck, especially if you're pushing into the upper back region. Feel the firmness in your feet. Recognize the direction of your knees. Are they dropping in towards each other? And you have the knee pointing straight in the direction of the toes. Exhale, releasing down, upper, middle, lower back, smoothly down. Once you're grounded, edge your feet in out to a more hip distance apart. So your center of the hip working in line with the knee rad working in line with the center of the hip. This is good here. We're going to raise just the right leg up. You're going to raise the knee up to where the knee is over the hip. Raising the lower leg up also to where you can create a 90-degree between the calf muscle and the back of the thigh. The heel pushes away. You can check in with your hands at the lower back region. You want to maintain a mild arch through the lower back, but then check in through the middle back. Middle back is still grounded, so back of the ribs are still down. Chin is slightly drawn back. If this is good here, you can keep one hand under the lower back region to give you a response and notice the reaction. As you exhale, bring the right thigh towards the chest, just to the point that you can feel that the lower back begins to push against the hand. Then as you inhale, the thigh moves away to the point that you can just feel that that original space is reoccurring. Exhale, draw it a little closer, a small movement. Inhale away. Recognize you're not straightening the legs, just moving to the thigh. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feel where pelvis tucks. Exhale, or inhale, my apologies. Exhale. Inhale, moving away to the point that you can feel that mild arch perhaps occurs or reoccurs through the lower back. This is good here.
Bringing the left hand to rest on the left hip. As you inhale, keep the 90-degree bend in the right leg, but drop the leg out to the side, to the point that you can feel that the left hip lifts. Perhaps you leave it lift for the first round, so you know that's the point that you want to be just before. As you inhale, come back. Exhale, drop it out to the side. Can you keep the left hip grounding? Inhale, back. Exhale, open up. Exhale, if you need to, you can use support of the right hand. Exhale, opening up. Inhale, back. Exhale, opening it up. Inhale, back. Super. This is good. You're back to that point where you have mild arch to the lower back. Please do take rest if necessary. I know this can be challenging, particularly around the hip flexor at the top of your thigh, or in front of the hip. All is well here. It's an internal and external rotation. You want to maintain this 90-degree bend in the leg as best you can. Your right hand can be on the outside edge of your right knee to keep the knee steady, so you don't want the leg to be dropping out as the movement we just done. Just moving through the hip. As you inhale, you're trying to bring the leg out wide. You're trying to turn the thigh in. As you exhale, you're bringing your right foot towards the left knee. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, move wide. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Smoothly back to center. Ground the right foot. All is well here. We change sides. We balance our practice. You raise the left leg up. You're thinking the knee is almost over the hip, and the lower leg raises up towards the 90-degree bend between the calf muscle and the thigh. Push the heel away. Monitor through the lower back. Recognize that mild arch. As you exhale, allow the left thigh to walk towards the chest to the point that you can feel that the mild arch is pushing against the hand. And as you inhale, extend the thigh away to the point that you feel that the arch is returning. Recognize you're not extending the leg straight. Exhale, thigh in towards belly. Inhale, extend the thigh away. Exhale, how slow and steady can you work? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Super. Once you've returned to the point that mild arch is recurring to the lower back, each of us being different, if I may be further away, maintain a 90-degree bend in the left leg. The right hand can rest on the top of the right hip now. As you inhale, allow the left leg open up to the side, to the point that the right hip lifts. So you know each time you want to be just before that point. As you inhale, come back to center. Exhale, open it up. Inhale, center. Exhale, open it up. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, both hips remaining level. Inhale. Exhale. Once you've returned to center, the left hand can be resting on the outside of the left knee now. Moving through the thigh. Try not to allow the leg to drop out to the side. This is good here. As you inhale, you're trying to turn the thigh in, so the leg is turning out. As you exhale, the left foot comes towards the right knee almost. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Back to center. Ground the left foot. All is well here. Draw your thighs lightly in towards your chest, a gentle rolling side to side. Come to rest with your rolling. Keep the right thigh in towards the chest, extend your left leg straight. Your left hand supports the outside edge of the right thigh if you can. Extend your right arm to the side, shoulder height, palm faces down, or creating a 90-degree cactus arm. Your next exhale, draw the right leg over towards the left side of the body. But you're only doing so to the point that you can maintain the back of the right shoulder grounding. If the shoulder elevates, bring the leg back more to center. Get twisted from here. Feels good, go a little deeper, maintain the shoulder grounded. Gaze to your right.
to center. Extend the right leg straight. As you exhale, bend the left knee. Right hand grabs the outside of the left thigh, left arm to the side, shoulder high. Get a little twisted. Noticing the difference between both sides. For instance, I can get a little more twisted on this side in comparison to the other. No challenge in the neck if you're gazing to the left, and feel the back of the left shoulder grounded. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, draw the right knee to meet the left, grab the legs, a little rolling side to side. Come to rest with the rolling. Keep the bend in the knees, ground the soles of the feet. Now you can take the soles of the feet further apart and you can rest in that position. That's beautiful work. But if all is well, you can allow your knees to drop out to the side, soles of the feet come together. The hands come to rest on the belly. Recognize if your ribs are elevating up, can you keep your ribs a little back, the chin a little back? If it's very challenging or uncomfortable here, for instance, if the chin is habitually turned up towards the ceiling and it's challenging to draw it back, you can have a little pillow. Around the back of the head, back of the shoulders, helping to keep the back of the ribs grounded and the head in a more drawn back chin to neck position. Be here for a few steady breaths. Let the breath. If the hands are resting on the body, feel the body's response to the breath. Beautiful. Now you can maintain as you are, and if it's too challenging, you come back at any moment. Please don't fight. But if all is well, keep the left leg as it is. Raise the right leg up, and the intention is placing the right foot on the left shin below the knee. But don't force. Then allow the right knee to work towards the ground. Recognize the reaction. Recognize if ribs are lifting. If chin is elevated. If this is very challenging, please come back a step. Soles of the feet together and allow knees drop out. Work from there. Feels good playing around with this variation. No pressure on the knee whatsoever. Beautiful. If the right is stacking, bring the right foot back to its original position. Raise the left up now and place the left foot on the right shin or even towards the calf muscle, working towards the knee, and allow the left knee to drop back down. Not fighting for depth. Beautiful. Softly return to the left, foot back to meet the right. Helping hand if you need to, please take care. We've been here a while, bring the knees back together. As you exhale, draw one leg in, draw the other leg in. Feels good, head towards the knee, rounding the spine. And as you inhale, release the head. Release the legs. Release and rest in Shavasana, the end of your practice. Making all of the necessary adjustments that are required for you to come into a position of rest. Any blankets or coverings are welcomed. Now that you're not committed to being on your back, you could explore being on your side or your front. Take a moment. Allow the eyes to softly close, mouth closes. And as you come to the end of your practice, you're creating space to observe and to welcome all of the beautiful changes that have been perhaps brought about by our practice. And when you can feel that the body is beginning to arrive, beginning to become steady, you can release all of the weight of the body. Any tension that it may still harbour, any worry of the mind, any conversations or thoughts or narratives that occupy your mind that don't serve you, can be released into the earth. All being accepted, all being supported, never too much. And safe in the knowledge that the body is held in this unwavering holding, set your attention free to move through the body. Allow it to move through the body upon the breath. On the inhale, perhaps the breath is moving up the front of the body. And on the exhale, down the back. Inhaling up the front. And exhaling down the back. Each time your breath passes the threshold of the toes, body settles a little deeper. Let's go a little further. And the next full cyclic rhythm of your breath. Next time your awareness returns on your breath to the toes and the soles of the feet, allow your awareness to rest there. And at the soles of the feet, within the deep stillness that continues to hold the body, remember what it feels like to have the feet firmly grounded and rooted upon the earth. What it's like for the legs to be upon the feet, torso to be upon the legs, arms to be held by the shoulders, neck to grow out of the torso, and for the head to balance effortlessly on top of the neck. Remembering what it feels like for gravity to flow at ease throughout the body. And you create an awareness of the essence of grounding that gravity brings with it. Feeling this grounding deeply within muscles, bones and joints. Note where you experience it the most. Be there for a moment. And from this deep well of grounding within the body, encourage it to radiate out, moving through the whole of the body, until your whole being is grounded with the same intensity as where you experience it the most. Whole body is grounded. Whole of the body is still. The whole of the body is rested. Whole of the body is grounded. Whole of the body is still. Whole of the body is rested. And as you edge towards the end of the practice, note that this grounding is something that will serve you throughout the rest of your day, your weekend, a resource you can return to at any moment. And you allow the body to remain within this position of deep holding and rest for a moment longer. Just softly begin to extend your awareness to be greater than the body. And as it extends beyond, it begins to transition to a more everyday awareness. This engaged awareness, this everyday awareness begins to influence the breath into being a little fuller, a little more conscious. Feel how the breath awakens the body, it stirs the stillness. Stirring stillness to the fingers, toes, up into the head and the neck. The feet come softly back together. If it's comfortable for you, extending both arms up and over. Begin at your feet, point your toes, tighten your feet, tighten your legs, take a big inhale, tighten belly, shoulder, fingers, thumb, tighten all body. Exhale. Right arm remains extended, left hand to the belly. Folding the left knee. Roll to your right for a moment. Once you feel steady, gently push up. Any seated variation, eyes closed. And as you come to the end of your practice, allowing yourself a moment to note any difference to the beginning of your practice. Physical body or mind. Beginning to rub the palms. Place the hands over the eyes, gently cup them. Extending massage of the eyes and the region of the face. Taking the hands a small distance away from the eyes. Gently blink the eyes open, gaze to the palms. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Hope you had a good practice. Hope you have a good weekend. Look forward to seeing you at your next practice. Thank you.